Let's see if the chief executive and other senior executives of the ITV are happy to stand by their record when we get to that, internal, external, independent KC examination of the Phillip Schofield affair. Well, it's all coming to a head once again today when we see the return of Holly Willoughby to the This Morning sofa. She's going to be returning, which was on the front page of all the papers yesterday and today, and basically she's going to be making a personal message. She has previously appeared with Phillip Schofield since those revelations came about, but has expressed some comments on Instagram, on social media. But this is the first time we'll hear directly from her speaking about this. So what do we expect her to say? Well, Hannah Hope is Showbiz editor at The Sun on Sunday and joins us now. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much. You had a big exclusive in the paper yesterday. I read with much interest about what is going to happen today. Let's just put this in context because, of course, we know, was it a week and a half ago now? It seems like it's going on for ages. Phillip Schofield basically goes, yeah, it turns out I did lie. I did have an affair with a much younger colleague at work. But, I met him when it was, I met him when he was a younger teenager. But the affair started when he was, after he started working for the show and he was over 18, but he's resigned. He lied to everybody. Chief executive and all the other executives on the show and on the station, they're looking at what they did and what they knew when. But we had that interview on Friday with Phillip Schofield where he talked about the personal toll on him, and I have to say it was quite harrowing, wasn't it?
Absolutely. It's really interesting how quickly this story is moving. We actually did hear, obviously, from Phillip last week, speaking to The Sun and also on the BBC, and he admitted that he was feeling suicidal and he thinks that people want him to die. Now, when someone's actually saying that, it is quite shocking because obviously no one wants him to commit suicide, and ITV absolutely do not want another Caroline Flack situation on their hands. So it's all very sensitive at the moment. We also saw Alison Hammond, who was on This Morning, break down in tears on Friday discussing it. So we are expecting Holly obviously to address it today. I wouldn't be surprised if she also got emotional and broke down in tears, which she has been known to cry on the show before. I know that she has penned what she wants to say. She wants to be open and honest. But I don't know how harsh she will be about Phil, given his mental state.
Well, exactly, but that's the thing, isn't it? Look, it's quite clear. Look, there've been we have to separate the rumours on the internet, which have been going for a long time. They go a lot further than what has been said by ITV and said by Phillip Schofield. Just to play it legally safe on this. But given on what he has said, yes, he had an affair. Yes, he came out as gay. It's quite clear he came out about basically being gay as a sort of a shield. He put a shield up against these rumours that were swirling all over the internet about his affair with a younger member of staff. There was clearly a balance of power, imbalance that was wrong. I think heads are going to have to roll from ITV executives over what they knew when. But there is an element where, and I'm with Piers Morgan and Jeremy Clarkson on this, who've spoken out, not in his defence, but say, let's stop it now. This has got completely over the top in terms of the vitriol that's being aimed at him. And he's talked about how he worried about being spat on in the street and people wanting their pound of flesh. And it has just got completely out of hand and over the top. And it's always the people who have #BeKind in their biographies, in their biogs on Twitter and on Instagram, who are the most vitriolic and vicious, isn't it?
Absolutely, and as you say, Jeremy Clarkson did say last night that he's never seen a witch hunt like it and it needs to stop. So I think today Holly is going to say something, but she's going to hope that it draws the line under the matter. And I think that, Phillip probably needs to spend some time healing. I'm not sure if we're going to...
He needs to spend some time being quiet and not arranging for photographers to be watching him when he tells his mum in Cornwall that he's lost his job. And I mean, come on, who happens to have a photographer there when he's meeting his elderly mother? I mean, that could have been done behind closed doors for a start.
I don't know where the pictures, how they came about.
How on earth did anyone know where he was? Come on.
It was, they were certainly very harrowing pictures, seeing him tell his 87-year-old mum this terrible news.
How convenient.
And her looking very emotional. Absolutely. I just hope that he maybe gets some help, like you say, spend some time indoors healing. And it means that This Morning can move on with their lives. And the inquiry, it's going to be very interesting this week, seeing a lot of people are having questions asked.
Well, indeed. I mean, I'm not into this whole healing stuff. I think he should spend a little bit of time realising that what he did was absolutely wrong and, frankly, shutting the heck up for a bit. I think that might do him an awful lot of good. Look, he's lost his job at This Morning. He lost the British Soap Awards. He lost, every single sponsorship. We buy any car, cruise line, every single bit of income that's coming his way. He's lost his agents. That's all gone. I think that's punishment enough. I think we can everyone just calm down and relax. The question is for me, is why so many people have gone for Holly as well. Again, I worked quite a lot on the show over the years. I mean, not since before lockdown when all this stuff was coming out. Being on the show just on Zoom as opposed to doing it in person. I always found them both an absolute pleasure to work with and never detected any vibe that apparently a toxic culture. But then, you're a guest. People are going to be on best form. I don't know. But I certainly found them both very professional in every way and very, very nice. But people are going for Holly. Like, what did she know? When did she know? Even if she did know, and we understand that she did ask him, is this going on? And he said no. And he basically admitted that he has lied to her as well. I mean, what on earth was she supposed to do? We've got a litany of people like the Eamon Holmes, the Dr. Ranj Singh, who said that they went to management, they spoke out about this and nothing was done. So what was she supposed to do?
Absolutely. She said that she was lied to. And even if she suspected something and went to management like previous people had done, clearly nothing was going to happen. I mean, they said they did an internal investigation, which basically meant that they asked a couple of people some questions, Phil and the unnamed runner, and they were lied to as well. So you're right. I mean, it does feel like with this upcoming inquiry, there maybe needs to be more questions asked about how investigations are carried out, duty of care towards staff, and safeguarding. Yeah,
indeed. And in terms of what we do expect her to say today, there's a question about will she mention Phillip by name? I think she's going to have to. She's going to have to come out. I mean, she's about saving her career, although by all accounts, the BBC are very keen to poach her, saying, look, if you're not being cared for by ITV, come on in, come to us. I mean, nearly always it's BBC stars going the other way, so that would be very interesting. I'm not sure she'll want all of her salary and everything publicised as it would be as a BBC star. She may not be very keen on that. A lot of people aren't. But I mean, what do you think? What do you think the key things are that she's going to have to say to basically try and put this behind her and put the show on the front foot?
I think she's definitely going to thank viewers because they're at the heart of this. She's going to thank them for being loyal to the show. And I think she's also going to reference the backstage staff. I think she's going to talk about the crew for carrying on continuously doing hard work throughout this very difficult time. I mean, they've had TV crews outside their studio watching them go in to work. So I think that she's also going to thank them. I think as well she's going to promise to captain a steady ship now. She's going to want to do the next 6 weeks as calm as possible. And I think they're going to steer away for the rest of the show. I do know, Julia, from any contentious issues. They're not going to be talking relationships. They're not going to be having any phone-ins. I think they've got Adam Lambert talking about Gay Pride Month, and they're also going to have fitness segments and possibly
play safe. That's what they're going to do. And of course, we've got senior executives this week and also Chief Executive ITV next week at the Culture Select Committee giving evidence. I think that's where the real story is going to be. I know you're going to be busy this week, Hannah. Hannah Hope, showbiz editor at The Sun on Sunday. Thank you very much indeed. 8:44 is the time. I know James Hill's political correspondent at The Spectator, desperate to always... Look, you talk about politics at Westminster, politics in the media. Whew,
brutal.
Whew, it is brutal, isn't it? But it really has been brutal. There is a point when you go, OK, you've done wrong, you need to go, you lied, you did something wrong, you've got to go. But there is a vitriol to this now.
There is. I think it's partly because of the image they presented as kind of open couple, face of breakfast TV, and actually they weren't being open. I would also say, I agree about the point about Phillip Schofield probably had enough, but equally, don't wheel out your aged mother for photographs when you could have a chat behind closed doors if you want all this to stop. And I would think the immortal words of Clement Attlee, a period of silence on your part would be welcome, apply here.
Yeah.